Project description. Project title: Hands-free sanitizer stand. Type of project: foot-operated stand hand sanitizer. Project beneficiaries: 1,420 people in and out. Location of beneficiaries: CBD College, F. Haka Street, Inaya 1, Cebu City. Project duration: March 20, 2022, April 14, 2022. Area of implementation: Tugas, Pardo, Cebu City.
Here, we're going to talk about the background or situational analysis. Here, you will know how did we conduct our project or how did we come up in doing our project. Within the early 2020, corona infection outbreak happened. According to the article of Journal of the Chinese Medical Association, corona infection, also known as COVID-19, initially came from Wuhan, China, brought about an impressive flare-up in numerous cities in China and extended universally, including Thailand, Republic of Korea, Japan, United States, Taiwan, Vietnam, and our country, Philippines. COVID-19 is a person-to-person transmission that happen through droplets or contact transmission, and if there's a need of rugged contamination control or in case no legitimate individual defensive hardware accessible, it may jeopardize the first-line healthcare specialist. Most individuals infected with the infection will encounter mellow to direct respiratory illness and recover without requiring extraordinary treatment. Be that as it may, a few will end up genuinely sick and require therapeutic consideration. More seasoned individuals and those with basic therapeutic condition like cardiovascular illness, diabetes, chronic respiratory malady, or cancer are more likely to create genuine sickness. Anybody can get debilitated with COVID-19 and gotten to be genuinely sick or kick the bucket at any age. Each school use hand sanitizer to maintain a strategic distance from spreading the infection upon entering their premises. We, on the other hand, think that we will design something easy to access. In the middle of our group discussion, we chose to invent a free hand sanitizer stand so that the individual who will use the sanitizer will not touch the sanitizer any longer to avoid spreading the virus.
Project objective: the purpose of hands-free sanitizer is to preserve a key separate from spreading contamination to the hand of people who enters establishment. Supply the foremost easy to get in employing a sanitizer. Finally, to advance the prosperity status of communities by growing get to consumable water sources and the chance of waterborne disease through the course of action, clean water, and conducting sanitation campaigns.
Proposed name of the project. We name our project Hands-Free Sanitizer Stand because we think that a sanitizer stand is the most excellent project we are able to do since within the midst of this pandemic. A sanitizer that is foot-operated is an enormous offer to everyone to maintain a strategic distance from spreading infections and to keep ourselves secure.
We will now proceed to the expected output or outcome in the proposal. By the end of the project, the outcomes are expected as follows. Number 1. 55% of the students and parents will understand how important hand sanitizing is. The question is, how can you be so sure that 55% of the students and parents will understand how important hand sanitizing is? Well, we all know that sanitizing is very important, especially nowadays, because hand sanitizing is one of the best ways to stay healthy during this pandemic, and it also helps fight against the virus. 2. They can gain insurance of their safety against coronavirus or COVID-19, and they can also help the government to avoid spreading the virus. 3. 55% of the students and parents know the outcome, the advantages, safety measures, and regulations of the food-operated hand sanitizer.
Project methodology is a collection of methods, processes, techniques, procedures, and rules. Usually contain a series of steps and activities for each phase of the project's life cycle. So we begin with initiation, planning, and design. This section details the materials used to create the hands-free sanitizer stand. We used 4 3/4-inch elbows, 2 pieces of 1-inch MTA, 2 pieces of 1-inch PVC cut into 28-inch lengths, 6 pieces of 1-inch PVC cut into 2-inch lengths, 6 pieces of 1-inch PVC cut into 4-inch lengths, 2 pieces of 3/4-inch PVC cut into 36-inch lengths, 3-inch PVC cut into 7-inch lengths, 1 and 3-inch end cups, 1 piece of 1-inch PVC cut into 16-inch lengths, 2 pieces of 3/4-inch PVC cut into 9-inch lengths, 6 pieces of 1-inch elbow, and 8 pieces 1-inch T. The second is execution. This is the stage of the project where everything your team has planned is put into action. We come up with the idea of creating a hand-free sanitizer stand because it is the best way to implement something very useful and very helpful to prevent viruses from spreading from hand to hand, especially since the viruses are still present.
Third, validation. After we finished making our product, we run it through different kinds of tests to make sure that the product is usable. We failed many times, but in the end, we got it perfectly. Fourth, closure. In this day forward, we can assure that the product we have invented is usable. We put all the efforts we can give to make sure that the product we invented won't become a hazard to the people who will use it.
Risk Management Plan. The following are the foreseen risks or problems that can happen during project implementation, followed by the measures that would mitigate adverse effects as follows. Number 1. Lack of equipment. There might be a possibility that the objects that we are utilizing, such as PVC channels, elbow tee, liquor, dissolvables, are out of stock while doing our product, which is the sanitizer stand. For example, you and your group have planned to finish the sanitizer stand this day, but the equipment you need is not available in the near hardware store, so you need to spend time for finding a hardware store that the equipment is available. Number 2. Measurements. The amount volatility, that is the difference between actual return and average or expected returns. This difference is referred to as the standard deviation. Example scenario. You're assigned to cut the PVC and unexpectedly you cut it wrong, so the time you spend for it goes to waste. Number 3. Function problem. Finishing the product doesn't mean everything is done because there is still possibility that it won't work. It won't work for any reason, so you got to try it again and find where it's possible lacking or possible damage of your product.
Project organization and staffing is how my teammates put together our product and project in this section. The proposal was encoded by the encoders Joselo Pianyar and Charlene Saladas. Next, the treasurer, Johanna Paula Abella, was in charge of the financial budget, recording all financial transactions, and providing a status report on how much money was still available. Next, the constructors. Jan Janil Ocampo and Kevin Kemp Hanoi was in charge of putting the product and improving it together. And of course, the helpers. Nimpa Bunsay, Erica Bardon, Patricia Constantino, and Linji Tara, who assisted the constructors of putting the product together. And lastly, the speakers. Nimpa Bonsai, Juslo Pianyar, Johanna Paula Abella, Charlene Saladas, Erica Bardon, John Janel Ocampo, Kevin Kimpbong Hanoy, Patricia Constantino, and Lindsay Tara will discuss what we did, why we did it, and how we did it.
Work breakdown and task time examination involves phases of the project, activity, output or target, indicator, and persons in charge. Our example, phases of the project 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Activity, preparation. Output or target is preparing the materials while waiting for the other members to come. Our indicator is working together for measurements. And lastly, persons in charge are the members.
We began by buying the materials needed to construct our product. A hand sanitizer, PVC pipes, PVC elbows, and PVC pipe cement were among the materials we bought. We cut the PVC pipes into pieces with a saw and make a hole with a gun drill. After cutting, we put the PVC pieces together to make a stand. To make it stick longer and align, we used tape measure and applied PVC pipe cement. After successfully building our hand sanitizer stand, we rewarded ourselves with a pizza snack.
In this part, we're going to talk about the project work plan or the detailed budget requirements. In budget line, we have the materials. It is used to create the product. The amount we needed is 1,434 pesos, and it is proposed by the member. Next, we have the print. It is for the hard copy of the research and the entire project proposal we made. And the amount we needed is 214 pesos, and it is proposed by Johanna Paula Abella. Next, the snacks used to satisfy the hunger or boredom of the members, and it is divided into two parts. First, 155 pesos, and it is proposed by the members. And the second part is that 122 pesos for the panels. Next, we have the bookbind to compile the output. 50 pesos. The amount we needed is 50 pesos, and it is proposed by Mr. Rondek Padigos and Miss Shindy Nino. The last but not the least, we have the transportation fee. It is used to pay for the journey you make. The amount we needed is 50 pesos back and forth, and it is proposed by Johanna Paula Abella.
Our world is fighting against the worldwide COVID-19 pandemic. Worried about our family's safety, wearing face masks, maintain social distancing, and also do sanitizer. But is it enough to protect your family? Introducing hands-free sanitizer stand made to prevent viruses from spreading. It is made of PVC pipe and it is a natural neighborly item since it can be utilized numerous times by the use of reusing and it can't be harmed easily. It is very useful in case of electrical shortage because technology and electricity is nothing to do with the product.